Hello and welcome to Meet the Engineers. This is a new series where we talk to the engineers that build the internet scale services that power Amazon Web Services. With me today is Nell Waliczek and I'm Sean Ray, your host. So Nell, I understand that you work with Amazon Sumerian, our augmented reality and virtual reality service. Can you probably just give the audience a little bit of an overview what augmented reality and virtual reality are?
Absolutely.
And Sumerian?
Absolutely. So when we think about virtual reality, we think about putting on a headset where you can't see the real world, but you're immersed in a virtual world. When we think about augmented reality, we think about putting virtual objects into the real world. A good example of a virtual reality experience would be trying to figure out a hotel room that you want to go to, and instead of just looking at the pictures, you can actually be in the hotel room and see kind of what the size of the bed is. An example of an AR experience would be something like, I want to see if this refrigerator is going to be a good fit in my kitchen, and so I can actually put the virtual refrigerator in my real kitchen and get a sense of that scale and the size and whether it's going to be a good fit.
Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. What kind of use cases do you see from customers where they're trying to do one of those two things?
There's a wide variety, and in addition to that, Sumerian also supports just standard sort of 3D on a screen. So we've got like digital concierge, folks who are looking to help like guidance at hotels or on cruise ships. We've got customers that want to do like digital twin type things, where you've got virtual copies of the physical real world objects that you can navigate through and see. We've also got customers who are doing trying to sell products. We've got a virtual caregiver to help with medication reminders. We've got a host system, so like there are virtual avatars that can connect with Lex and Polly to do interactive speech. And so we've got customers that are really interested in that. We've got WeatherBug is another customer that just released an AR experience about weather quality, air quality. So there's a lot of interest in taking a lot of data and visualizing in ways that feel more natural and intuitive.
Pretty amazing. I also understand you've been at Amazon a short time, so I want to talk about some of the other work that you do and kind of Nell the engineer, I guess. So I understand you're involved with the W3C. Can you kind of explain that and the work that you're doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been at Amazon about 6 months. The W3C is a standards organization that does a lot of the standards that we think of as being part of the core of the web. CSS is a great example, XML, and through the work that I do at Sumerian, I am part of the immersive web working group of the W3C, and that is responsible for the APIs, designing and building the APIs that allow web pages to talk to AR and VR hardware. And so that's the WebXR device API, and I'm one of the 2 spec editors of that. And as part of my continuing that work, I'm actually Amazon's rep to the W3C as well, sort of responsible for making sure that the right people are getting connected.
That's pretty interesting. I guess it's also good that we're on the standards body and we can get involved. How do you see that? How do you see the kind of the physical world and the virtual world kind of interacting as you through the web browser? Are you saying that we're going to just stare at the web browser and get the information, or are we going to also then links to some other kind of second screen experience where we get some kind of augmented reality?
Yeah, I mean those 2 examples I gave before about the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality are actually great ones for the web. Like when I'm trying to figure out a hotel room, I'm not going to go install an app for every hotel I'm considering going to. I'm going to go to the hotel's website and see the pictures right there. With WebXR, you can actually click a button right on that web page, and if you have a VR headset connected to your PC, you can put on that headset and see content coming straight from the web page. So the web page is drawing it without having to install anything. And the same thing is going to be true for AR as well. I can actually go to a product's website and click a button on my phone and actually be able to place that product just right there without installing any application. And that's sort of where the power of AR and VR on the web come together.
Okay, sounds pretty awesome. I actually had my first virtual reality experience recently with a customer of ours, Zero Latency. So they built this big warehouse with a kind of 3D printed gun, and you run around and you had to go over platforms where I always felt like I was going to fall, even though I know that I'm in a warehouse where your brain is just trained differently.
No, it's totally true. There's experiences where you can like walk out on a plank and you look down and you look like you're 100 stories in the air, and you got to step off the edge of this plank, and the ground is just 2 inches away, and you can't get your brain to do it. Virtual reality is very present and intense.
Okay, so Nell, thanks for joining us today. This is Meet the Engineers. We're looking forward to you tuning in the future.